So tests, lots of tests. I have lots of tests going on this week. So first we have biopsy, and then we have PET scan. PET scan is like pet dog, but I don't think it's quite as fun. Biopsy, what's biopsy? A biopsy is where you have a tumor, which unfortunately I do, and they want to take a sample of said tumor and see if it is cancer. They can always tell what kind of cancer it is after it's done, and like how far along it is, and all that fun informational stuff like that. Since a tumor is generally under your skin, it's inside your body, yeah, they have to take a sample of it somehow. So they put a needle in there, suck a sample of the tumor out, and then like test it and stuff. So like there's a needle going in there and poking at the tumor that is in there. That's a biopsy. That's what they're gonna do. In my case, I have a very large tumor in my side, but they're not going to biopsy that one. They're going to biopsy some smaller nodules in my lung to see if the nodules in my lung came from the tumor in my side, because it's bigger, and it's to see if that's where it originated from. It's called a CT guided lung biopsy. So there's going to be CAT scan involved so they can see it, because the nodule's really small or something like that. All biopsies are not the same. So what happened was they went in there, and the doctor has to explain all this stuff, and they're like, you can't move at all. How long is this gonna be? Like, it really wasn't horrible. Now, I'm saying that now that it's over. It's always worse when you're like in it and you're doing it. So I just made myself comfortable. CAT scan is like a ride. It's like a circus ride, because it's a table and it moves, and that's fun. You're moving on a table through a donut, basically, with some lights flashing on the inside. So yeah, it's like basically a ride. So I'm laying there all comfortable on my side, riding the ride with the donut. They have to tell you like when to breathe. Take a deep breath in, let it out, don't breathe. And that's pretty much what they did. Like, you have to hold your breath, which was kind of hard. I tried not to think about what they were doing, and just like pretended that they were just like poking me with their finger, and that there weren't any needles involved at all. Because with all the numbing stuff, that's kind of what it felt like after the pain was over. There were a couple times that I had to cough, but I was trying to be really, really still at the same time. So like, you feel kind of gunky. When the doctor came in to talk to us later, she was like, congratulations on doing well. Because the other lady, she was 4 times your age, 3 or 4 times your age, and you were much better behaved than her. So I was like, yeah. So it turns out lung biopsies aren't actually so bad. Yeah, I was all scared for nothing. Yeah, no, it was pretty scary. It was scary because it was anticipation, a lot of it. And like, doctors will come talk to you and be like really serious and have to tell you all like every way everything can go wrong in case you die, which nobody does in a biopsy. It was a very long day. I actually didn't think it was going to be so much of a big procedure as it was, which I mean was fine. The worst parts of something you dread are like not even the biggest things. It's just the little things. And so if you can just look out for like the little things that make it the worst, then like the rest of it isn't actually that bad if you actually think about it. Because really, most of the time I was just like laying there. But it's the thought of it. There's a needle sticking inside me right now. It really wasn't horrible. I guess I would not want to do it again. I wasn't scared, really. I mean, I got nervous once we got there because everyone was acting all official. The hardest part of trying to be brave about something that you're dreading is staying brave and not letting yourself fall into thoughts of this is all hopeless and this is horrible and gosh, my life sucks. It's like resisting chocolate cake. The second that you grab chocolate cake, you know you're gonna grab more. And just like chocolate cake will make you fat, fear will only make you more fearful. So my side hurts a little bit right now. So my IV went. How you doing? It's a little sore too. IVs freak me out since they're freaky. When you smell like the hospital, when you're at the hospital long enough to smell like the hospital, usually you can't take a shower right away. And so now I smell like the hospital. That's not cool. I guess there are worse things. There was a lot of recovery time, a lot of just like laying around and letting people push you around in the bed, which is always weird. I always feel like I shouldn't be laying there, like I should be, like sitting up would help out or something like that. Or like people think that you're a bum or lazy or something if you're like just kind of relaxing while somebody's pushing you around. I don't know, it's weird. It's a me thing. I have like this little bruise mark like on my side. But that's about it for the lung thing. Honestly, again, the parts that did hurt, that made it kind of scary, where it didn't last too long. And if you can just visualize all the other parts, like him tapping me with his finger, like, it kind of makes it funny. So, CAT scans are not scary. And lung biopsies are scary. But they're not so bad. Don't worry about it. I'm here getting a PET scan. And all that's on TV is some lame Western. Just relaxing. Chilling. It's dark in here. PET scans. No, it does not include your dog. You cannot bring your dog to a PET scan. Or your cat, or your hamster, and probably not your snake, but you'd have to ask. Little tip, don't eat 4 hours before a PET scan. Probably they'll call and tell you that, but they didn't tell me that. So I went and I ate breakfast, and I had to wait around the hospital, which sucked. I had a book to read. I survived. They go in there. You get an IV. So once you've got this IV in, there are like these boxes that look like they hold C4. So he pulls out this like capsule thing, a gray capsule with like little white numbers on it. And he goes over to the counter and he opens it up and pulls out this syringe. Puts it in my IV, whatever. I thought I was gonna just go sit in the waiting room for an hour. But he brings me to this little room. I thought it was half an hour. I lost track of the time. And he like turned off the lights. So a PET scan. I got an IV. It's in there. And they shot me up with some radioactive sugar. And now I'm waiting to become fully radioactive so I can be the next Captain America. And then go scan in an MRI to see what the radioactive sugar does to a superhero. It's an experiment. It is. The government needs to know if I'm gonna be saving the world from aliens. So I didn't know I'd have to like change and stuff. But hey, gotta go in style, right? MRI. My particular test was a PET scan MRI. Generally, they do MRI PET scans for younger people because of the radiation. And so since I am a youngster, they did an MRI. So this is an MRI PET scan, not including your dog. It's not a PET scan They're not scanning your pet and they're not petting your scan. It's just a pet scan. You have to lay down on this flat little table thing. These tables are so narrow. If I was literally any wider, I wouldn't fit on it. So I'm basically covered up with these weird, like, board things. He said they were cameras. You can't move your hands after that. And I was afraid my nose was going to itch. So I get these like headphone looking things. I think they're just like earmuffs, kind of like to block the noise. And then there's like this thing that goes over your head. It's like a cage. It's like there was like a bar. And it squished the earmuffs against my ears, so my ears were flat the entire time. The CAT scan was like a ride, right? It's a table that moves, okay? Who doesn't love a table that moves, that you sit on it and it moves? This is also like a ride. A very claustrophobic ride. The ceiling is literally this far away from you. It's like being tucked into a really nice bed. That's what it's like. All snuggled up in all the blankets so much that you can't even move because you're so cozy. The moving fun ride table brings you under into this little tunnel that's very mysterious and actually makes noise. The tunnel, it's just like a donut tunnel. And so you glide under there and it's like a moving table. But then it starts making noise. Wee, wee, wee. It was really weird. It was like staticky noise and big noise and then like beat noise, like some really bad rapper. And that's what an MRI sounds like. It's really loud. Sometimes the table will like shudder. I'm telling you what, it's a ride. But you can't move at all. You can just breathe. Actually, the guy had to tell me when to breathe. I am apparently not very good at holding my breath. For the lung biopsy, it wasn't so bad, but for some reason in the MRI, it was hard to hold my breath for as long as it took. He said it was only for about 15 seconds each, but for some reason I was having a lot of trouble holding it for that long. So don't feel like a failure if you can't hold your breath for 30 seconds. It was hot in there, okay? It was hot in there. And then it was done. It was finally done. You go to this locker room where you change back into your normal clothes out of their fancy attire. And then you go home. If I wanted to go over the border or go to an airport, they would stop me, and the metal detectors or radioactive detectors would stop me because I'm radioactive. And I have radioactive crap in my blood right now. And I would have to give them a special card that said I am radioactive. Had a medical procedure with radioactive medicine. I'm telling you what, guys, this is serious. It was like, and there was a sign on the door before I went in. It said nuclear medicine. And I was like, oh yeah, this is nuclear testing, guys. I'm gonna be the next superhero. Whew, so I'm done with the PET scan. It was awesome. I'm in the locker room now. I'm gonna get changed. Gonna go and I'm gonna eat something. Probably salad.